I know what you're all thinking when you hear the word architect, right? Just lines and boxes. I mean, that's actually pretty true. But actually behind all those lines and boxes, there is so much more. And we're about to dive deep into what that role of a Salesforce architect actually does. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now this video is going to be focusing on the Salesforce architect role. I know that Salesforce splits their architect roles into solution architect and technical architect, but we're just going to generalize it and combine it into one, where I'll talk about the differences where there are any. So what are the day-to-day activities of a solution architect? Well, the first one is running discovery workshops. Now, the reason behind that is because their goal and their responsibility is basically to architect and design the overall solution based on the client's requirements. So based on the product feature, which in this scenario is Salesforce, they need to understand what are the problems that they have right now and come up with a solution and design it all. Second sort of activity that you'll be doing is researching. Now this is both for the solution architect, but mainly a lot more for the technical architect. And now why do I say this is because when it comes to being an architect, behind those lines, behind those boxes, you really have to understand the integrations that the Salesforce solution and the platform has with any other technology or even product features. So as a Salesforce architect, you really need to know the Salesforce platform inside out. So what are some tips I could give to you if you want to become a Salesforce architect? Well, the first thing you should do, and if you haven't seen it from my other videos, is definitely check out their trailheads. Now this is Salesforce learning platform. It's super interactive, so you really get to know the product itself. Not only that, you can personalize your own learning, see what other people are doing as well, and you really get hands-on with it. So this is one of the best ways in order to become an architect specifically, because you really need to know the product inside out. Now the second tip that I could give to you is just being able to know your basic IT and technical concepts. Now this is really important because when it comes to an architect role, you need to know the integrations behind, certain features and certain products. So being able to understand, just the basic level IT and technical concepts and being able to collaborate with developers is going to become extremely handy for you in the future. Finally, you really need to have a passion to always continuously learn. Like I said, one of the activities that you'll be doing is researching. Not only that, Salesforce has heaps and heaps of products and just features in general. It's never ending. They're always doing upgrades 3 times a year. So making sure that you're always willing to learn, always making sure you're pursuing and trying to understand the latest features and edge technologies is going to be one of the advantages that you will have as a solution architect. So what is the one major myth behind this, Salesforce architect role, or just architects in general? And like I said at the beginning, it's just lines and boxes. Now that is actually true. They do draw lines and boxes, but it is so much more to it. Now as a solution architect and in the delivery part of things, it can actually become quite stressful because behind every single line, behind every single box is actually a lot of information hidden behind it. Now the reason I say that is because every line shows the integration between each product feature, so you really need to know the product back to back, and then being able to understand, third-party solutions, because the client specifically won't be asking just for Salesforce. They're gonna have a whole bunch of different other products or applications that they're already running in the background, so they obviously want to be able to integrate it with Salesforce. Being able to find a way to do that can be quite stressful. One of the most important questions on your mind right now is whether this role is going to be relevant in the next 5 to 10 years. Well, I definitely think so, but I'm going to break this down into the technical architect role and the solution architect role. For the technical architect role, you have underlying concepts which will always stay relevant. Things like integrations, identity management, security. Now, these are all applicable to any technology or any platforms out there. So, the underlying skill set that you get as a technical architect will definitely be relevant in the future, regardless if it's Salesforce or not. Then we move on to the solution architect side of things. Now the solution architect really needs to know the product and the features back to back. So in order to do that, they do run discovery workshops with the client as well. Again, these are all underlying skills that will always be relevant and applicable to any other different roles. Not only that, when it comes to a Salesforce solution architect specifically, they do upgrades 3 times a year. You learn about similar technologies like Power BI, Oracle CRM, And these are all technologies that aren't really Salesforce specific. So again, you are learning about other technologies already. So do I think that this is going to be relevant? I definitely think so, because the underlying concepts that you learn from a technical or a solution architect is going to be applicable to any technologies out there. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Now make sure you go back to check out all the other Salesforce roles or just technical roles in general. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe, and comment down below if there's any other roles that you're interested in or curious about. See ya.